hello, welcome to Vidya Bedam. This is Nitya. Today we are going to discuss about plant life. The study of plant is called botany, and the father of botany is Theophrastus. And each plant contains some basic parts, and they each perform a unique role. And each plant contains stem, roots, leaves, flowers, seeds, and fruits. And each parts of a plant perform their own functions. For example, stem, it transport food and water. It transport food from leaves to other parts of a plant and transport water from roots to other parts. Next one, leaves. It is an important part of a plant because it's a kitchen of a plant. So here makes food and transfer to the stem and store this food as in the form of starch. The next one, roots. It absorb water and minerals from soil and transfer it to the stem. Next one, seed. Seed is a grow a new plant, thus propagating the species. The important part is leaf. The part of leaf by which it is attached to a stem is called petiole. As you can see in this picture, this part is petiole and this is attached to the stem. This place is called petiole, and the broad green part of a leaf, this is the broad green part, it is called lamina. And we can see lines on this leaf. These are the veins of a leaf, and the thick midline is called, that is midrib. Lines on a leaf is a veins and middle line is midrib. The design made by veins in leaf is called leaf venation. If this design is net-like on the both sides on a midrib, then it is called reticulate venation. This is the reticulate venation. It is a net-like structure on both sides of midrib. This part is midrib. Okay, this is reticulate venation. If it is parallel to each other like this, parallel to each other, then it is called parallel venation. Banana leaf is example for parallel venation. Grass are some of the examples. Functions of leaf is transpiration. A transpiration is nothing but it's a loss of water in the form of vaporization, and leaf is also perform photosynthesis. Next one, roots. It hold plants firmly to the soil, and root absorb water and minerals from soil. There are two types of roots. The first one, taproot, and second one, fibrous root. A taproot means it's have a one main root along with other small roots. That is taproot, like this. One main root. And the fibrous root means it doesn't have a main root, that is fibrous root. Plant with parallel venation have a fibrous root, and those who have a reticulate venation have a taproot. And the flower is a most prominent part in a bud, which is made up of small leaf petals or in a closed bud is sepals. When we remove the outer parts, able to observe inner parts, that is stamens, pistils, anthers. Based on the difference in stems and branching, plants are divided into three groups: trees, shrubs, herbs. Trees are tall, woody and high branching, and the shrubs are shorter than tree. It is also woody and low branching. Next one, herbs, short, green and tender, and it is example for coriander leaf, coriander plant and mint plant are some example for herbs. Shrubs are example for rose. And trees, we know that it's a mango tree, coconut tree, and lots of trees are example for trees. There are other types of stem modification, that is creepers, clippers. Both are thin and weak, but some of them are spread on the ground and others are take a support from solid structure to climb up, that is creepers and clippers. Creepers are spread on the ground like pumpkin, watermelon. And next one, clippers take support from solid structure to climb up, for example money plant. Next one is reproduction in plants. It is a process by which all living organisms continue the population of their respective species on the plant. There are two types of reproduction, asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Flower is the sexual reproductive part in the plant. Flowers are the reproductive part of a plant. They help the plants in sexual reproduction and producing fruits and seeds. The main part of a flowers are sepals. These are the green leaf like outermost circle of the flower. All the sepals are together referred to as a calyx. The function of the calyx is to protect the flower when it is bud form. This green part is called sepals. Okay, petals, these are the colorful and most attractive part of a flower. These lie inside the sepals. All the petals are together referred to as a corolla. These are attracted insects for pollination. These are the petals. Stamen, it is a male reproductive organ of a plant. These are the little stacks with a swollen top and lies inside the ring of a petals. The stamen made up of two parts, that is filament and anther. The stalk of a stamen is called filament and the swollen top of the stamen is called anther. This yellow part is called anther and the thin part is filament, and it is commonly called as stamen, and it is a male reproductive part of a flower. The anther contains the pollen grains which have a male gametes in it. Pollen grains are exposed when the anther ripens and splits. These appear as a yellow powder-like substance which is sticky in nature. Flowers usually have a number of stamens in it. Next one, pistil. It is the female reproductive part of a flower that lies in the center of a flower. These are the flask-shaped structure which is made up of three parts, that is stigma, style and ovary. The top part of the pistil is called stigma and it receives the pollen grains from the anther during pollination. The middle part of the pistil is tube-like structure is called style, which is connected stigma to the ovary. This is stigma. This, as you can see in this figure, this part is called stigma and the tube-like structure is called style, and it is a kind of ovary. Is it clear now? The base of pistil is called ovary. The ovary makes ovule and store them. These ovules contain the female sex cells is called an egg cell. It is the female gametes of a flower. Pistil is also called as carpel. The pistil is surrounded by several stamens. The base of the flower on which all parts of the flower are attached is called receptacle. This part is called receptacle. Okay. The reproductive system is two types. One is asexual and the next one is sexual reproduction, the process in which only one parent is involved in the production of a new individual of the same kind is called asexual reproduction. In plants, asexual reproduction results in the formation of offsprings or a new plants without seeds or spores. Asexual reproduction in plants occurs through the following methods. First one, vegetative propagation. Second one, budding. Third one, fragmentation. Fourth one, spore formation. The first one, vegetative propagation, it is the formation of a new plant from vegetative unit of bud, stem, etc. These vegetative units are called propagates. Vegetative propagation we will learn more in the next chapter, natural vegetation. Okay. Next one, budding. In this process, a daughter involved individual is formed from a small projection on a parent body is called bud. Most of the fungi like yeast reproduce by budding. Yeast grow and multiply in every few hours. It provides with sufficient nutrients and favorable condition. Next one is fragmentation. Some algae, for example Spirogyra, that are present in water bodies reproduce by the fragmentation. In this method, the body of the parent breaks into small pieces called fragments, and each fragment grows up to become a new plant. Fragmentation of a parent body occurs when they are matured. If water and nutrients are available, the algae will grow and multiply rapidly by fragmentation. If this process continues, it will cover a large area in a very short time period. Next reproduction is spore formation. Some fungus like bread mold reproduce asexually by spore formation. Spores are present in the air, are a small spherical bodies, have a thick protective wall that protect them from unfavorable conditions. When favorable conditions arrive, the spores burst and germinate to develop into new plants. Spores are very light, asexually reproducing bodies which can be carried over a long distance by air or wind. Some other plants like mosses and ferns also reproduce by spore formation in the undesirable of their leaves. On the basis of type of reproductive organs present in a flower, the flowers are the following types: unisexual flower and bisexual flower. The flower which contains only one reproductive organ, that is either male or female, are called unisexual flowers. These are also called an incomplete flower. That is, the flower have only one reproductive organ, either male reproductive organ or female reproductive organ, and it is an incomplete flower. For example, papaya, watermelon, corn, cucumber are some example for unisexual flowers. Next one, bisexual flower. The flower that contain both reproductive parts, that is male and female, in a single flower are called bisexual flower. These are also termed as a hermaphrodites or a complete flower. Example, rose, mustard, hibiscus. Bisexual flower means it contain both reproductive parts, for example male and female, in a single flower is called bisexual flower. This is a complete flower. Example, rose, mustard, hibiscus are the some example for bisexual flower. Next one, self-pollination. Pollination are the two types. That is, first one is self-pollination and the second one is cross-pollination. When the pollen grains from the anther of one flower reaches to the stigma of the same flower, it is called self-pollination. Self-pollination generally occur in bisexual flowers. Okay. Next one, cross pollination, when the pollen grains from the anther of a flower or of a plant are transferred to the stigma of a flower of the same plant or that of a different plant of the same kind of process is called cross pollination. This transfer to another plant is mediated by insects, wind, water, animals, birds, etc. Okay, when the pollen grains from the anther of a flower or of a plant are transferred to the stigma of a flower of the same plant or that of a different plant of the same kind, the process is called cross pollination. This transfer to the another plant is mediated by insects, wind, water, animals, birds, etc. So next one, agents of a pollination. This process of pollination is carried out by some external agencies like wind, water, insects, birds, etc. These are the agents of pollination. The next one is fertilization. The process in which the male gametes fuses with the female gamete to form a new cell is called fertilization. When the pollens are deposited on the stigma of the pistule, it begins to germinate. After some time, a long pollen tube is developed from the pollen grains, which passes through the style towards the female gametes in the ovary. The male gametes move down the pollen tube and the tube enters the ovule present inside the ovary. That is, the tip of the pollen tube bursts and the male gametes come out of the pollen tube inside the ovary. The male gametes fuse with the female gametes present in the ovule to form fertilized egg cell, which is called zygote. The zygote develops into an embryo, which is a part of a seed that develops into a new plant. That is the fertilization of a plant. In a simple word, male reproductive part is stamen and it consists of anther and filament, and the female reproductive part is pistil. It consists 3 parts: stigma, style and ovary. Male reproductive part anther have produced pollen grains and it is transferred to stigma through pollination. We already learn about pollination. And it go to style. Then it will go to ovary and it is going to expanding the fruit as the result of expanding ovary. Fruit is the expanding ovary.